Network Rail Signalling Maintenance Clips. In this episode we will be demonstrating the Thales Axle Counter Dummy Wheel Test, NR SMS Test 045, specifically for the AZLM double rail contacts with the EAK30 junction box. Caution: full possession of the axle counter section shall be obtained and the TPR links or evaluator output disconnected before any phase reversal or adjustment tests. Functional tests using the dummy wheel test shall require appropriate protection arrangements and liaison with the signaller. These tests are required when the rail contacts are moved or realigned. They also usually form part of the annual test of the axle counters, referred to NR SMS Appendix 01, for isolation, resetting and restoration. To simulate a wheel on an axle counter, a dummy wheel supplied by the manufacturer is used. It consists of a metal plate with 3 plastic brackets. The bottom edge of the plate is to be adjusted for 40 mm for double rail contacts. The 2 brackets are swung out 90 degrees to the metal plate and rest on top of the rail. The 3rd bracket is flat and parallel to the metal plate. It holds the metal plate in the correct position by resting on both the RX coils to influence both heads simultaneously. If it is required to simulate several wheels passing over the rail contacts, loosen the knurled nut and raise the flat bracket so it is clear of the RX coils while the device is passing over the heads. The cutout notch on the 3rd bracket should be aligned with the center mark on the receiver head when readings are being taken. If the self-locking nuts are fitted to the count heads, they should not be used. If the nuts are to be loosened or tightened, new nuts should be fitted. Phase reversal test. Connect the Alcatel axle counter test box with female Harting connector to the diagnostic adapter inside the EAK. Turn it to switch position 10, MESAB 1, and measure the voltage. This should be between 80 mV and 1000 mV positive polarity. Insert the dummy wheel adjusted to the depth of 40 mm between SK1, TX and RX count head, and measure the reading. This should be between 80 mV and 1000 mV negative polarity. Compare the readings, and if they are within 10 mV of each other with opposite polarities, complete the phase reversal test for SK2, MESAB 2. If the voltage is outside this limit, adjust the potentiometer R2 to obtain it. If still unsuccessful, complete adjustment of the count heads. SK2. Select position 12 on the test set, MESAB 2, and repeat the phase reversal test as before. If the voltages are within 10 mV of each other, you can proceed to setting up of the peg. If the voltage is outside the limit, adjust the potentiometer R4 to obtain it. If still not successful, complete the adjustment of the heads. Adjustment of the count heads. Note which step the relevant TX is on. Slacken the head adjusting bolts and move the head up 1 step if the positive reading was higher than the negative one. Conversely, move the head down 1 step if the positive reading was lower than the negative one. Tighten the head adjusting bolts and repeat the phase reversal test, remembering to switch position 10 for MESAB 1 SK1 and position 12 for MESAB 2 SK2. Compare the readings of the phase reversal test. If they are now within 10 mV of each other, proceed to the adjustment of the peg. If they are still outside the limit, repeat the steps for the adjustment of the count heads. If, after the adjustment of the count heads, it is not possible to obtain a difference of 10 mV or less, obtain the lowest difference possible and contact your section manager. Check that after adjusting the rail contacts, all adjusting nuts are tightened. Adjustment of the peg. Remove the dummy wheel from the count heads and select position 10, MESAB 1 on the test box and measure the reading. Select position 11, peg 1 on the test box, and if necessary by means of the potentiometer, adjust the voltage until it is the same reading as MESAB 1, position 10. Repeat this process for MESAB 2 and peg 2. Functional test with dummy wheel. This test can be used as an alternative to the observation of a train passing through an axle counter section. It does not supersede any setup or adjustment tasks for the EAK or the ACE in the appropriate SMS. Confirm sections are showing clear. Using the dummy wheel, sweep 3 axle counters from specified section into next section. Check that the section specified is showing occupied. Confirm with the signaller or on an ACE diagnostic. Note that the section adjacent to the specified section will become occupied as axle counters have counted out and none counted in. Using the dummy wheel, sweep 3 axles out of the specified section and confirm that it is showing clear. Confirm with the signaller or ACE diagnostic. Repeat this step for all detection points on the ACE. Note, the first and last detection points will affect sections to another ACE if they are axle counter controlled areas. This concludes this episode of Network Rail Signalling Maintenance Clips.